This is Dolynny TV live from. So 1 year, $3 million deal for Jeff Skinner. Easy turn of events for the Oilers today. They run amok in free agency and come home with quite a few good pieces to add to the team. Obviously, you lose some valuable pieces as well, so that's a tough look if you're the Edmonton Oilers. Losing Warren Fogle, Vinny Desharnais, Sam Carrick, obviously replaced him with Jeff Skinner, a guy like Victor Arvidsson, Josh Brown on the back end. There's been a lot of additions to this Edmonton Oilers team. That said, though, Vinny Desharnais, even if you're not replacing him with one Josh Brown, you kind of already replaced him with Philip Broberg, so natural replacement there with much more upside than Josh Brown. That said, for the Oilers as well, they are signing Jeff Skinner, who was bought out by the Buffalo Sabres. This one, I'm not going to brag too much on it, but I felt like it was a natural fit right from the beginning. Obviously, not being to the playoffs, Jeff Skinner at all in his career. The Oilers going on a cup run. They need a little bit more juice in the lines in terms of offense. They get that in this multiple big-time scorer in Jeff Skinner. And being a goal short of the Stanley Cup, or at least overtime in the Stanley Cup final, you got to believe this is a massive addition for the Edmonton Oilers squad that is going to try and take that run at the Cup this year, and you would believe that this is a guy that's going to help out with that case. So for the Edmonton Oilers here, a good free agent frenzy opening day, as TSN would call it. I think we can all agree it was a lot more impactful than I think any of us thought was possible. The only question is now, I believe you're allowed to kind of escalate your own team cap above 10% of the hard cap during the offseason. So one would also assume that Evander Kane and Cody Ceci are likely to be chopping blocks in terms of salary here in the next little bit. There's been a tremendous amount of rumors about both over the past 2-3 weeks, and one would assume with this move, signing Jeff Skinner for $3 million, unless we're burying Corey Perry in the minors right out of the gate, leaves us with no cap space to really get under the cap quick to begin the NHL season next year. So crazy amount of moves today. I'm really liking everything. Jeff Skinner's been a beauty in the NHL for a long time, deserves some playoff time, and he's going to get that this season with the Edmonton Oilers. Again, if you're just tuning in, breaking news, the Edmonton Oilers, for those of you watching back on the video, my apologies, it's not, this is live right now, so again, like I'm screwing things up, repeating things, this is all just crazy, fast, happening, fire it up. Canada Day in Cold Lake, it's currently raining right now, so pardon me as we have a little bit of sound in the background and all that, but for the Oilers, obviously, you get a guy who is a proven goal scorer. I can't say winner because he hasn't done it in the playoffs yet, but a guy who comes from a situation in Buffalo that has just been unfortunate all told, start to finish. It gets bought out. The Oilers jump on that Skinner bandwagon, get a second one on the team, and now you've got Jeff Skinner and Stuart Skinner hanging out. I wonder if Stuart Skinner, and this will be a unique jersey to grab, especially if Jeff Skinner is only around for a year, but it'll be a really unique jersey to grab if Stuart Skinner chooses to put the S on his jersey and Jeff Skinner's got the J on his jersey. That's a pretty neat combo to have, and one that you might have to go out and get if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan in those new Fanatics editions. But as you can hear the thunder here in Cold Lake, Canada Day coming to a close, obviously a little earlier than normal, but we have plenty of time to refire it up, I guess you could say, once the storm clears out of here. Blue skies on the horizon to the west, and away we go. But obviously, yes, back to the breaking news. For those of you just joining in, Jeff Skinner has joined the Oilers. It's a 1 year, $3 million deal for Jeff Skinner, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other structure to it that we'll be aware of in the next hour or so. But you think about signing Victor Arvidsson, you think about signing a guy like Jeff Skinner, you've signed Josh Brown, you've signed Connor Brown, you've signed everybody and anybody who you need in the minor leagues, right? You got Connor Carrick, you've got Colin Delia, you've got a whole bunch of other depth around the roster now. James Hamlin's back, you've got Noel Hoffenmeyer back. It's pretty incredible. I know I'm forgetting somebody in the ways. Noah Philp is the other name we've had on the channel. This has been my busiest upload day in probably 3 years at this point, given all that. So looking forward to seeing what this Edmonton Oilers roster can do. And I think Jeff Skinner, right, you look at how the Oilers lines currently line up, omit Evander Kane until we know otherwise, whether it be trade or whether he just simply stays with the roster. But you've got Nuge, McDavid, Hyman on the top line. On that second line, whether it be Kane, whether it be Skinner, whether it be whoever in that second line role, maybe Ryan McLeod, right? This Oilers team could still add Adam Henrique if they trade Kane. Well, guess what? If you've got McLeod, Draisaitl, and then a new addition, Victor Arvidsson on that second line, that sounds pretty potent top six. We know the top line's always going to mash, the second line needs to mash, and a guy like Victor Arvidsson is going to help both McLeod and a guy like Leon Draisaitl continue to drive up the point totals. Then you got the third line. Well, let's think about the third line, right? Right now, you're expecting Matthias Janmark to come back to the Oilers. Is there enough cap space? How's it all going to work? Maybe he's a tomorrow thing. I don't know. But you've definitely got in that role Jeff Skinner if he's not up there with Draisaitl. So McLeod, Skinner, roll him around line 2, 3, whatever you have to do. Down the middle, hopefully Henrique comes back. If not, you've got a plethora of options here as the door just locks behind me. Whoops. And secondary to that, well, you got on the right wing Connor Brown, who looks like he's ready to emerge back to full NHL form that we know Connor Brown has had in him for a lot of years over the course of his career. Then on that fourth line, you've got a plethora of depth, but the Oilers haven't had this much good competition for a fourth line role in a long dang while, and I'm looking forward to seeing them use that at camp. You've got Noah Philp. You've got, hopefully, Derek Ryan fully healthy. You've got a guy like, of course, who are we forgetting? James Hamlin. There's so much depth on that fourth line. I think we're forgetting a whole bunch of other guys as well, but it is amazing to see what the Oilers are going to be able to do with this roster. Back end, we've already talked about, but Jeff Skinner adds so much punch to the Oilers' top 9. It's not even funny. You add in Victor Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner to the Oilers' top 9 here and now in this season, and you are kidding me if the Oilers can't repeat and better their successes from last season. This just looks all too good to me. I think the Oilers are really, really strong this year on paper, and now you just avoid the November collapse or early season collapse, whatever we had before we fired Jay Woodcroft. You keep the consistency with the defense. Hopefully Mark Stewart's running that on the back end, taking over for Paul Coffey, and everything just kind of lines up beautifully for the Edmonton Oilers. Again, if you're just joining in to recap, friends, make sure that you're staying tuned with all the other videos because everything will make sense if you watch everything else. But Jeff Skinner is a 1-year, $3 million deal for the Edmonton Oilers here this offseason on July 1st. So very excited to see Jeff Skinner become a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And now, right, I've gone through the line combinations, everything like that is going to be awesome to see what the Edmonton Oilers can do with this hockey team going into camp. I think that's the biggest thing about adding Jeff Skinner. So many options, so many possibilities for the Oilers that you just can't comprehend how it's all going to fit together at this moment, especially with Evander Kane and Cody Ceci still members of the Oilers. They are going to run back Skinner and Picard in net. That's the thing. We got 2 Skinners on the team now. There's a lot to like about this Edmonton Oilers team as we wrap up day 1 of free agents frenzy. I don't think there's going to be anything else for this Oilers team to add. If they trade Kane or Ceci tonight, my head is going to pop like that because it has been an insane day so far as an Edmonton Oilers fan. And I'm so glad to have had you along here for multiple times on the live streams, on the videos back here on the channel for this Canada Day 2024. It's been awesome. Got some sun. You can see suntan's looking good. First time I've had this much of a tan in a lot of years, so absolutely lit up. But Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson, Josh Brown, whole bunch of other depth back with the Oilers organization. It's a W day for the Edmonton Oilers and Jeff Jackson. Now we just have to avoid making a big mistake in terms of hiring the wrong GM. Mark Hunter's my man. Let's get him done and get him in that GM seat here ASAP. So friends, day 1 of free agency looks to be done now. I don't think the Oilers can possibly add anything else other than minor league depth, and I doubt they're going to do that as the Bakersfield Condors are already out there signing guys today as well. So thanks for being aboard this Dolynny TV. I will catch you in the next one.